Basketball on the Big Ten Network is powered by Ram Trucks. And tonight, out of the WAC with a win and a loss, the UT Arlington Mavericks will challenge the USC Trojans, who have played their first 2 games of a new season. And courtside with veterans, a lot of introductions to be made at Galen Center tonight, but they're off to a winning start and they got the first possession. Here's St. Thomas.
No real true playmaking point guard on USC, so you're going to see a lot of motion, a lot of movement, a lot of dribble handoffs, pistol action. They really like to share the ball. Point of emphasis when we talked to Eric Musselman today at practice, what do you want to get better at? He said defensive rebound.
Cohen downhill off the spin move. He's got the first hoop for SC.
USC has a big-time size advantage, particularly in the front court. Cohen can score with both hands. He got an angle to the bucket. Easy deuce.
Cohen led USC in scoring last time out with 19. Shot 8 of 12 from the floor. Blocked a couple of shots against Idaho State. They didn't finish off the Bengals until the final 3-minute burst of that game. Good ball movement from the Mavericks in the half court. Smith buried deep, able to spot Wells. That's his specialty. And a good start on the defensive glass for Desmond Claude.
Didn't go in, but Terrence Williams has to be careful about leaving Wells.
Trail 3 for Thomas.
There you go. See one go in. Who is that masked man?
Smith pivots off the block, falling over the way. The length of Cohen bothered the shot, even if he didn't block it. Thomas again on the trail. Earns a trip to the line. So he's got a 3, and he's got free throws.
VCU just had 20 against BC, so
with Kentucky prior to his UTA appointment. We're going to stay on this end.
With both hands, he's a very efficient offensive player. But Ellingsworth is one of the few guys that UTA has with size that can bother him, but he's got to figure out how to stay with him. And you see that dribble handoff action there, JB. And that's the best way to get Claude. Yale averaged 12 points, 5 rebounds. One of these guys, you know, one of the things they like to do here, JB, is find big guys who can play out on the perimeter and smaller guys who can play inside, and that's a bucket underneath.
Seamster's got the first, and Desmond Claude here kind of fits that archetype, right? And a big point guard, even if it's not his natural position. Good look opposite there. Williams gets started. His first hoop as a Trojan.
That's exactly what you want, and I talked about his play in that exhibition win over Gonzaga. 20 points, he was 4 for 6 from 3. That 3-ball goes in, fixes a lot of problems. And Cohen once again going to work inside, and Turner's going to need a timeout. You can't let him catch it that deep, because it just, he's like the rug in the Big Lebowski. He ties the room together. When you have someone who can space the floor, especially when you don't have that creative point guard play, it just makes the offense run a whole lot easier.
It's a big 3 for Jaden Wells. Mentioned that's his expert.
Right now, they're 314th in the country in defensive free throw rate. They play an aggressive half-court man-to-man defense. You got to learn how to do that without fouling.
Williams attacks off the dribble and gets all the way home. Terrence Williams the second.
Yeah, I think he's their best. Yeah, that's 6 team fouls, so one more, they're in the bonus. Everything going USC's way so far. Desmond Claude with the kiss off the glass. A natural score.
He needed surgery on both elbows this offseason, but was able to report and prepare at full strength. Early impact Trojan for SC. Driving kick Wells. Can't leave him at the line.
Well, it's like my kids, teenage sons. Don't give them something, they're going to abuse it. That's what they do. But Jaden Wells has earned that.
Wells at the wing. Over Thomas. Look out.
That's what happens. A good shooter. He sees 1 or 2 go down. Now his confidence goes up. He wasted no time. And he has a larger defender on him in Thomas, who just wasn't close enough to him.
He scored at least 17 in each of UT Arlington's first couple of games. Another foul on the Mavs here. He sliced into USC's early advantage as Desmond.
14-15 in the first half. I hope you have nowhere to be tonight if this is going to be the case.
Seth, you were the last appointment on my calendar.
Good.
The one I've been looking forward to.
The good news is there's no traffic in LA at 1 in the morning, so we'll be fine. I'd like to say hi to our Big Ten viewers on the East Coast. This is how we do it out west. Get your caffeine this season. A lot of late night games on Big Ten Network.
Pacific, our tip time here. Jackson Ellingsworth from North Carolina. St. Thomas wants to back down the 6'3" Burford. That's his roster listing.
Good help coming over there.
And a turnover.
You got to pitch it out when that help comes. It's going up.
Wells feeling it at the Galen Center.
You do not want a player. Value of that 3 ball.
An 11-2 run for the Mavs. Burford driving. He'll take it himself. Called his own number. You can almost feel the desire to find the hot hand Wells, right? If he could find him at the perimeter, he was willing to do it. Instead, the mid-range, and it's a 1-point game.
Got a 7-0 run now for the Mavs. See how SC responds.
AG holds the basketball, midway point of the shot clock.
So you can see the lack of the point guard in this offense, can't you?
Isaiah Elohim over to Claude. Desmond Claude, that's a block. Second, and as Seth alluded to, UTA is over the limit now.
Space and make him make the 3.
His minutes were trimmed last time out because of some individual foul trouble, so now benefiting from the fouls piling up on the visitors. See if the Trojans can get a stop. Silence this UT Arlington run.
They put Elohim, the freshman now, on Wells.
And knock him off the line. He gets all the way to the cup. Jaden Wells. Claude off 1 foot. 1 and done for USC. Chance for the Mavs to take their first lead.
I'm telling you, man. I am telling you. He hit that one from the broad. Oklahoma Division II All-American. His green light has a green light, JB.
And they've gone from down 12 to up a buckets. Back to the middle. That's where they got started, and Josh Cohen trying to settle USC back in. Yes.
Good job by Claude fighting through that screen. Got hip check, kept going.
Thomas fires to the corner. A toe check from Terrence Williams II. Cohen whirling back to that right hand. Matt.
See, if you keep going to Cohen, then he'll be able to keep getting them in foul trouble. You see, Ellingsworth has to come over and help. Doesn't want to foul, and that's easy deuce. 3 straight buckets. The first time tonight. 6'4" sophomore, didn't play last year at Washington.
Backdoor, what a pass. And the left-handed layup for Terrence Williams. Give the assist to Thomas.
Great delivery by Thomas.
What a story by Yates, though, in terms of how he found his way here to LA with Eric Musselman and company.
Yeah, didn't play at all at Washington, and Muss brought over 2 Washington guys in Quincy Pondexter and Will Conroy on his staff, and Yates is actually cousins with Pondexter, so followed his cousin to LA. Is a really smooth offensive player.
Talbot connects there for the Mavs. Back within a possession.
And he plays the backup point with Claude on the bench.
Out of the baseline. And should be heading to the foul line.
That's something I'd like to see Agbo do more, is drive and get to the foul line. It just takes a long time. And whenever you talk to Eric Musselman about what's going on with the team, had a couple of really good seasons there. And they're looking for more offensive production. He too.
Then Jaden Wells showed up.
Jaden Wells showed up just in time.
We've not called his name in this segment, a testament to the defensive adjustment and the fact that he's catching a breather here. Downhill for 2, Rayshawn Seamster. They thought they needed a good night from him and from Deontay Smith to compete with USC.
USC has more size, but they don't have great rim protection. So it's a good place to attack the defense if you can get there.
What a find, an easy hoop for Josh Cohen, but Wesley Yates made it possible.
Really nice couple of minutes here for Wesley Yates. Both ends of the floor.
He's made efficient use of his minutes this season. He's averaging 11 points per 20 minutes per game. Doing at the defensive end now. Nowhere for Hupstead to go. What a bailout foul. Timeout like a field trip day for some local LA school children.
Basketball was going to be less interesting, less fun to watch, less compelling with Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. It's going to be a heck of a season.
Juju Watkins and the women of Troy playing here on Friday, coming off a 21-point performance and a record-setting win.
And by the way, the team across town in Westwood and Lauren Betts, the UCLA Bruins, pretty good in their own right. It's going to be an unbelievable
starter in the front court for the Mavs. So he's done for the final 7 minutes, you figure, of this opening half. 100th college basketball game. Yates out of trouble. Look at the ball movement from USC.
So now you got Yates and Claude in the game together, which allows Claude to move to his natural position off the ball.
SC was in position for that weak side rebound, got fouled again.
On the Mavericks. That's usually how it works, Mr. Long.
Although the San Diego native, 1 out of 2. And the lead back to 9 for USC. They scored 16 of the last 21 points. Rayshawn Seenster able to drive the crease, had his shot blocked, but a late whistle.
Looked pretty clean.
Abo with an entirely new roster, perimeter shooting off the bench.
Yeah, Lance Ware could really give them the front court presence at both ends.
2% from the floor. Claude comes to a jump stop.
You see that ball moving now, JB.
Make the extra pass to the corner, and it counts.
That's their best offense. This should be a really good zone offensive team.
What a lift Terrence Williams brings to this offense. It's like everything slots into place, more relaxed strokes from USC.
Yeah, KT Turner likes to play that zone off of the full court press, but I think, USC's one of their main offensive weaknesses is a lack of ball handling, really across the board. So if you're playing a zone, you're not.
The all-WCC freshman team joining forces with Terrence Williams.
Trying to get to halftime without anyone else getting a third foul.
Turned down the 3 to take the 2. Back tap rebound. Yates off the mark. Here's St. Thomas. Third time's a charm.
There you go. That's the other problem with playing a zone is you don't protect the defensive backboard as well because they don't have box out assignments. 2 offensive rebounds to get that bucket. I think Coach Turner needs to go back to his man, but he also doesn't want his guys in foul trouble. To go over 100 right now. USC in their own right 60% and just dominating inside 20-6-2. And that's not a problem that's going to go away anytime soon.
So Eric Musselman there, he started 3-0 in each of his previous 7 seasons as the head coach. That's what his Trojans are trying to do tonight as Patton spills on the baseline after that miss. Numbers if they hustle for the Mavs. Look at Patton recover. He commits the foul.
Nice take there by Douglas. Got 3, so it really kind of trickles through his brilliance aside.
You're telling me that part of the comfortable 58% shooting from the floor, talking to his coaching staff, there was a little doubt that it was going to translate here to the Mavericks, right?
No question.
Thomas surveys the scene, takes the elbow jumper. Patton was undercut badly by Talbot. Glad to see Kevin Patton Jr. back on his feet.
Man, that's scary when they get up high.
He profiles as a second in the West Coast Conference in blocks last year as a freshman. And if not for the injury to Matt Nolan, he would have played one more.
Haven't seen Josh Cohen in a while either.
Yates off the screen. What a finish. Wesley Yates has had a terrific. Ellingsworth dared a little, and he did. Jackson Ellingsworth hits for 3.
Yates finding the seam in that zone.
Burford wiped away. Kevin Patton, just as we referenced, a defensive force. Now Yates, step back triple. Bam!
I'll tell you what, this can play and guard all 5 positions.
Talbot with 6 to shoot. Here's Wells extending his range. What an answer. Star who visited USC during his process, chose Arkansas, and then followed this staff to Galen Center. Almost came away with a steal. Douglas in the lane. Soft touch. Cade Douglas, one of only 2 returners for UT Arlington.
You got to grab that ball, Eric Musselman says. Elohim is a talented defender. That's his specialty. Now do a little clear out for Yates.
They've had multiple double-digit leads in this first half, and they'll look to take the final shot up 7 here.
Runs down the screen.
It's been Yates deep in the half. Off the bench.
Called his number.
And a heave at the horn sends the teams to the locker room, separated at 51-42.
Unit.
Abo with the miss there. Interesting that you drop Illinois in there in that conversation, because you talk about roster overhauls. We saw them win earlier tonight on Big Ten Network. USC is right in that same boat with 11 new players trying to start 3-0. Deontay Smith just picked up his fourth, so he leaves early in this second half. He's scoreless, and he was someone they thought essential to their chances tonight. Williams got it. Terrence Williams.
Terrence Williams, we talked about at the top, did not play in USC's first 2 games because of back spasms. A 5th-year senior, played 4 years at the University of Michigan, so he's got real Big Ten experience, and he's a natural offensive player.
Nice cut from Seamster, who throws down.
St. Thomas got completely lost on the screen, didn't switch over.
I want to go back to the point you made about Musselman's background. So he's had immediate and sustained improvement and success at places like Nevada and Arkansas, but this, in the immediate present, might be more like his prior professional work.
Yeah, no question. Extreme situation when you take over a new job and you come in and you only have 2 returning players, and none of them were really significant.
Cohen using the shot fake. They'll have to earn it at the line.
Both live here in LA. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to do. It's time, and you never know. You know, Mick Cronin up the road's going through this at UCLA. He brought in 6 transfers, and he's never been one of those guys who has a lot of roster turnover. They made the Final Four in a couple Sweet 16 with Jaime Jaquez and Tiger Campbell coming back year after year. Not this season.
Cohen leading 4 Trojans in double figures with 13 points as Jackson Ellingsworth connects for 3.
Yeah, still in the game with 3 fouls. So let's see if they attack him at this end. So Clark could have scored that.
Abo missed the tee-up 3.
Claude had an easy look at a reverse layup and dished it.
Sweet pass by Wells in transition, and here come the Mavs. Cade Douglas pays it off.
Not a good job by SC locating shooters in transition. So worried about where Wells is.
Abo rising. This time he hits. Six points for Chibuzo Abo. Back to an 8-point lead. Burford out of the corner. Here's Wells. You see the immediate closeouts and hands in his face.
Nice job by Claude getting around that stagger screen.
Douglas passes opposites. SC was in great position all the way to the final second of the reports. We're shoot around on butcher paper, though.
That's right.
Markers.
Very old school. Didn't remember. He introduced himself to Mick, and Mick said, "You don't remember me?" I guess Mick wasn't quite so memorable as a player.
Douglas from deep. Splash.
That's the second one from him.
Now shooting their way back in it.
Once again, 14 fouls for the Mavericks, only 1 for USC. That's going to be something to watch if this thing stays close.
Claude exploring off the bounce. And a free throw to follow for UTA.
Yeah, that would help. They have multiple guys in foul trouble.
Thomas with a full head of steam. Fires to the corner. Yates spins out. Talbot on the throwback.
Poke away by Yates.
He shot the gap. And he takes it himself.
Now he's out guarding Douglas. Left his feet.
He got him lifted and got the foul.
Wesley, I'm here saying nice things.
Mascot, I think at the JUCO.
You've been waiting all night to get that in.
No, what I've been waiting all night to get in is Burford and the Mavs hanging around and heading to the free throw line.
It's a straight up spraycation. And I said, must have played 12 guys tonight. You know, it'd be a lot easier if you only try to play 6 or 7.
Probably the part we underrate here in November, right? The players learning the coach's system, but the coach is also learning what each individual can bring to the puzzle.
Yeah, you just don't know. There's just no substitute for game experience. You can watch them practice and scrimmage each other and go through drills all you want, but until you see them out here, you don't really know your team. And it's only the 3rd game of the season.
Much needed bucket from Desmond Claude.
See Terrence Williams get going a little bit more for SC. And a little passive tonight.
Making his regular season debut, the transfer from Michigan.
This is KT Turner.
That favors the Mavs, don't you?
I do.
Seamster on the crossover.
It's not even running offense. It's spreading and driving one-on-one, looking for the mismatch and the matchup that you want, and driving to the rim.
Tied for the first time since the score was 23 up. Caught in deep, using that pivot foot, and rising for two.
Working inside that zone.
Work on Thomas. Seamster had it stripped. Oh, and what a tip. St. Thomas with the takeaway. Yates, strip going back. Wells tees up a three for Robinson. Brody Robinson.
We got to
in on the road at Indiana in volleyball. Desmond Claude with possession here. His Trojans trailing for the first time. And it's early in the first half.
Well, I'm surprised that Muss hasn't tried to put those volleyball players in the game yet. As Claude didn't finish, and Williams
able to spot a shooter in the corner. Talbot comes up short. Loose ball rebound claimed by SC. Claude will bring it. Looking to his right. And Patton rinses it with the right hand. Kevin Patton Jr. making his SC debut. Robinson pulls. Wow. Brody Robinson, former JUCO All-American.
Desmond Claude got lost on the screen, couldn't fight through it in time. UTA is not going away, folks. You East Coast Big Ten fans, don't nod off yet.
And Terrence Williams is second. As we enter crunch time, keeps that pivot foot. Now Williams in support. Over to Thomas. SC dialing in from distance.
Yeah, they're just 2-3 happy right now, I think. Attack the rim and get to the foul line. That's what got you this lead in the first place.
Wells got...
As UTA now gives it up.
That pass too hot for Deontay Smith to handle. He's been out of the action with foul trouble. Look at this drive. And a clever finish. Wesley Yates has been huge.
He sure has been. How about Josh Cohen getting the ball and pushing it up the court at 6'11"? That's a great weapon to have when a big can rip and run.
Trojans back in front. Robinson off balance, bailed out by the whistle.
Mixing in his zone. Spreading him out. Getting that drive and then moving the ball. And they've had multiple offensive contributors tonight. Jaden Wells was super hot early, but Cade Douglas really gave him a lift this second half. Ellingsworth has made some. Robinson has made a three here.
USC will get it back on the rebounding foul.
Again, it's not just about the points. Now you fouled out Smith. And you might be. So this is something to watch because big 22 for UTA. Give UTA credit. They have come in here. They took a couple of body blows early on. Jaden Wells threw some haymakers, and it's been on since then.
USC's over the limit, so.
It's also a time for USC to see who emerges as a leader. It just seems like these are kind of his teammates by the scruff of the neck and tell him what they don't want to hear. I was asking St. Thomas about that at shoot-around. Who's that guy? Eric Musselman wanted to bring in some nice kids, but right now we need some dogs.
I thought Josh Cohen might be that person. I know you called for him to get that next.
This last 6-19. They always are in a close game.
Came in at 75%. Playing its first 6 games of the season here at Galen Center. Their first 9 will be in this. Robinson against the 5-man. What a steal from Claude. Now with his eyes up. Behind the back. Gives it away. 3-on-0. Burford on a race to the rim.
Desmond Claude should get the assist for that bucket. You cannot turn the ball over. Putting the ball behind your back, trying to go 1-on-3 in a 1-point game. Cannot do it.
Cohen in the middle of the defense. Shot fake.
Right at Ellingsworth. Couldn't guard him hard.
Just what Seth Davis called for. So USC back on the high side with 5.5 to play.
Got to ride big 33 to the finish line, at least at that end of the floor.
Seamster, uncontested.
She's watching too, but you see the 2-2-1 soft pressure. Now you go right to Cohen. Turn and face, Josh.
No double there. He does it himself.
Oh, Muss wanted the foul, but he got the bucket.
Cohen facing up off the elbow against a smaller defender, using Thomas for a reset. St. Thomas finds the cutter. Williams in crunch time.
That's probably the best play St. Thomas has made tonight. He's really struggled. But you can see the trust that Eric Musselman has in him to put the ball in his hands.
Perfect night for Terrence Williams to put on an SC uniform and play for the first time at Galen Center. He's got 16.
This is where you begin to forge your identity if you're USC with all these new guys. And Ellingsworth answers.
With a tying 3, he's got 16. Thomas fouls. The 9th on UT Arlington.
So that's a big spot for him to be coming into this game.
Missed front end.
He's got a much better shot to tag Ellingsworth than Cohen did.
Brody Robinson had a cut below his right knee. He had to get taped up. You can see the blue band around his right knee as he plays on, challenging the taller defender. Features and teams you love.
A lot of times being the bigger team can be a disadvantage. The way the Mavs spread things out, they are hard to guard.
Claude fouled on the floor, no shots.
Normally in games like this, the team that shoots the free throws best over the last 2 minutes wins. Well, most importantly is he can hang with Ellingsworth on the perimeter, and Cohen has basically no chance out there. And you know, USC's got those 3 timeouts, so if they can get a stop and get the ball, Musselman can call a timeout and get Cohen back in the game for offense. But that's a hard guard for Abo on Robinson that far out.
Over to Seamster. He traveled in a big spot with 2:01 remaining in a tie game.
To play defense without fouling out, he's got 4.
Mavs continue to guard it with zone. Cohen on the flash to the foul line.
He's got his mind made up. We got time.
12 to shoot for Claude. In and out dribble. Down the right lane line. And he finishes.
Fantastic. Ellingsworth had to follow Cohen up into the middle of the zone, and Claude was able to sneak on by.
22 to lead the Trojans. They're back in front.
Closeout time.
As the Trojans dig in, here's Jaden Wells. 2 foul shots coming.
Would have been better calls than on Claude.
Wells has made 7 threes tonight.
Official Dan Wynn fell for it.
Both free
throws not in the type of game condition that he wants, but Eric Musselman put the ball in the hands with Desmond Claude. 2-man game with Cohen, and take it home.
Off the crossover. Oh, and a subtle screen from Cohen there to get him all the way home. He's got 24.
Fantastic steal by Josh Cohen, and the recognition from Claude. Great 2-man game.
Rayshawn Seamster against Cohen defensively. Lost his balance. The extra step. They'll wipe it away.
Big one.
Now the Mavs will press. USC has 3 timeouts, and they'll use one with 41.2 to go. Again, they'll be home Sunday against Cal. Another good test on
ball in bounds.
Double bonus situation, 2 foul shots on any foul given. Thomas collects the inbound, gives it back to Williams. Terrence Williams II dribbles into the front court, back to Thomas.
Nice job against the press there. Really good composure. And now UTA going into that man-to-man, which they really haven't played most of this game because of that foul trouble.
Claude for a 2-possession lead.
Bucket. Winning time.
Musselman saying no foul. Douglas drives, kick to the corner, 3 on the way. Mavs not done yet. Jackson Ellingsworth.
Josh Cohen. Claude is the guy you want the ball to end up in.
Williams running that baseline. Thomas gives it back. Nearly intercepted. He breaks away from trouble, and the foul is given with 7.2.
Very well executed by USC. They're shooting. But first he's got to make the free throw.
He does. It's a double bonus situation. USC has a chance to foul up 3.
See how they play it. Against this team, I think foul up 3 is what you got to do, but you got to wait for a couple seconds to tick.
Wells still has a timeout to utilize.
Not going to do it.
With 2, he turns the corner, flips it up and in. 0.8 left.
I don't know why you would shoot 2. I mean, that's just a bad decision. There's still time on the clock. There's still time on the clock. At 0.3 or less, you cannot possess the ball. So UT. I mean, on the ball, Ellingsworth is going to throw it in bounds.
And as you pointed out, 0.6, you can catch and shoot off the arm of Ellingsworth.
He can run the baseline too.
6'8" Kevin Patton Jr. in his face. Here it comes from the lefty. Untouched.
Now SC will get the ball back down here. By the way, in that situation, I have to say, I'm not crazy about putting a defender on the inbounds passer because you can run the baseline. I think you're better off playing 5-on-4 in the backcourt. But win is a win. And USC was absolutely tested tonight, and they passed the test.
A game that featured 10 ties and 16 lead changes. Desmond Claude guides it to the finish line.